Well, good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this panel, which I think is going to be a great example of partnership in action, taking skills beyond readiness. I'm Steve Smith. I'm the UK government's special representative to Saudi Arabia for education, a post I've held for nearly 5 years. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the launch of the Saudi-British Strategic Partnerships efforts to establish a skills partnership. So today is about the skills initiative between the Saudi government and the UK government. We're going to look at the way in which we can use the skills initiative to advance human capability across sectors, including education, healthcare, sports, and early learning. And we're going to look at how both nations are responding to the changing demands of the global job market, focusing on skills development, the integration of AI into learning and training, and the importance of human-centered strategies to strengthen long-term workforce resilience. Now, the key thing to stress from my perspective is that Dr. Majid and colleagues asked us a year ago to come along with a group of colleagues to talk about skills, and I'm very proud to be able to say that such is the commitment of the UK government, to the Saudi-UK partnership, but also to this area of skills, that we've brought the largest ever delegation on education that the UK government has sent to any country in the world, 71 individuals. And we're very pleased to be here at EdgeX and at HCI. So what I'm going to do is very briefly ask the panelists in turn to introduce themselves. Then I'm going to ask them a main leading question each. So Dr. Majid, could you say a few words about yourself?
Majid Al-Qasabi, Minister of Commerce in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Al-Qadi.
Badr Al-Qadi, the Vice Minister for Sport.
Minister Morgan.
Good afternoon, I'm Stephen Morgan, I'm the Minister for Early Education.
Professor Steve Field.
Thank you, and I'm Steve Field. I'm the UK Special Representative for Healthcare to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
And Dr. Fakeh.
Thank you. Mazen Faqih, I'm the President of Faqih Care Group.
Thank you so much. So the first question is to you, Your Excellency, Dr. Majid. As Vision 2030 enters a critical delivery phase, and with Expo 2030 and the World Cup 2034 fast approaching, the Kingdom faces a unique inflection point. How is the Strategic Partnership Council positioning human capital at the center of national readiness? What new skill sets will be essential to support not only these global events, but also the long-term transition towards a diversified, knowledge-based economy?
That's a tough question. First of all, I'd like to extend a great welcome to everyone who made it from outside Saudi Arabia, and also a great appreciation to the people who are in Saudi Arabia who came and attended this session. Saudi Arabia today is moving toward action. We went from ambition to action. Vision 2030 is no longer a roadmap, is no longer a blueprint. It's transformation in a motion. And the first skill I learned by His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed, our visionary leader, the creator of Vision 2030, is the will skill. Will is a skill. His Highness had a will to change and transform Saudi Arabia. So all this transformation started by a skill that was learned by everybody, and thanks also to the shakers and the movers and the history makers, the people who embraced the transformer, who embraced Vision 2030. But if I also, as you said, Expo 2030 is around the corner. The World Cup 2034 is, and things are fluid. And today the world is going from globalization to fragmentation. Things are going too fast. So again, we need future set with skills that we empower our citizens and our boys and girls with these future skills that they can be ready for the future. If you allow me to read some of the numbers we have, and tell me if my time is, I will. Yes, please. The tourism and culture and sports and creative industry are set to create 1 million jobs by 2030. The creative economy alone already support over 80,000 jobs, with a strong growth expected in film, in design, fashion, and digital arts. The digital economy is projected to grow from 4.4% of GDP in 2020 to over 19% by 2030. The healthcare sector, which is Dr. Mazen is one of our prominent business people in Saudi Arabia, we'll talk more about it, is projected to reach 250 billion Saudi riyals by 2030. The green economy expected over 2 trillion riyals worth of investments in the pipeline, like sustainable construction, renewable energy, circular economies, and so forth, and solution. And with having 65% of our population below the age of 35, this fueled with confidence and hope, this means that investing in life learning is a must-have, it's not a choice, it's a must-have. So developing the talent, we're still working. Saudi Arabia have worked. We've done a gap analysis assessment between what is the capability of the workforce now, what's the future need, set skills that needs it in the future, and these future skills have been embedded in all educational and training institutions, coupled with AI and technology and all the needed tools for our sons and daughters to, and also using knowledge and center of excellence like the one cooperation with the UK, bringing these knowledge to Saudi Arabia, sending our students to UK and America, and all these great institutions will hopefully be able to design this future sets and implement it. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Question now to Your Excellency, Badr Al-Qadi. As Saudi Arabia prepares to host major international sports events, 2027 Asian Cup, 2029 Asian Winter Games, and of course, the 2034 FIFA World Cup, there's a growing need to build rapidly a skilled, versatile, flexible workforce capable of delivering world-class experiences across the sports ecosystem. So beyond athletic talent, what strategic steps are the Kingdom taking to develop expertise in areas such as sports management, event logistics, fan experience, sports medicine, digital broadcasting? And, crucially, how can Saudi-UK collaboration help shape a legacy of innovation and capacity building that extends well beyond the final whistle?
Thank you, Sir Steve. Let me start by the second part of the question and then revert back to the first one about the Saudi and the UK collaboration. I believe that As His Excellency Majid Al-Qasbi mentioned, that the Vision 2030 is the catalyst at which everything moves in Saudi. In the sports sector, we have the National Sports Strategy under the umbrella of Vision 2030. This national sports strategy have been built based on learnings from other markets, and the UK is one of those markets that we have studied quite well to learn the development path that the UK have been through and how can we gain from the learnings that they've done and avoid mistakes that they have done too. I'll give an example. The UK in 1996 in Atlanta Olympics, they achieved around 15 medals, which is a very mediocre achievement for a country like the UK. And obviously, with an ambition to host the Olympics in London in 2012, there was a lot of focused effort and work toward transforming the sports sector in the UK. And they succeeded on that and ended up achieving more than 65 medals in 2012. With that learning taken, we have worked on building capabilities in Saudis to ensure that we have the right talents, not only as athletes, but as physiotherapists, as psychiatrists, as sport managers, as coaches and everything around building the ecosystem. We learn also from the UK sustainability in the sports sector. The UK sports sector is 90% funded by the private sector. That's a great target and ambitious to achieve. In Saudi Arabia today, 15% of the sports sector is funded by the private sector. So a big gap and a big ambition for us to work on toward achieving. The Premier League in the UK is another example where obviously the most watched, the most successful league in the world. And there is a lot of commercial learnings to be captured there as we grow our Saudi League today and work on it. So in a nutshell, today we have in Saudi Arabia the national sports strategy. We have set of enablers. Human capability is one of the key enablers that works on developing that. From the number that His Excellency mentioned in terms of jobs created, the sports sector will contribute to 13% of those jobs that are being created by sport, entertainment, and tourism sectors. Obviously, sport is expected to also contribute to the economy. We aim to have sport reaching up to 3% of GDP by 2030. This is an ambitious target that we have for ourselves. Back to the collaboration between Saudi and UK, there is a lot of developed businesses in the UK around hosting events, and you mentioned hosting the World Cup here in Saudi, and before that we have the Asian Games, the AFC Cup, and many others. Obviously not only in football, but we are hosting the Formula One next weekend in Jeddah, and I invite you all to join us there.
Sure.
But UK companies like Panelists, which works on building the best stadiums around the world, is one of our partners that is working with us on our facilities. On engineering and management of construction, Mace is another great example of a UK company that is working with us. And we ensure as we work with those UK-based companies that we work on the knowledge transfer toward our next generation of Saudis that works with these companies and build on that. With this being said, I believe that the potential is still huge ahead of us, and we're working together, and we look forward toward delivering on this.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, if I could turn to you, Minister Morgan. Given your leadership in early education policy, how do you see foundational learning as a key building block in the broader Saudi-UK Skills Initiative? As both kingdoms deepen their partnership through the Strategic Partnership Council, how can collaboration in early years education help establish a strong, future-ready talent pipeline, one that nurtures the curiosity, creativity, and core competences essential for lifelong learning and adaptability in what is a rapidly changing global economy?
Well, thank you, Sir Steve, for that important question. And may I start by thanking Your Excellencies for your hospitality in the last few days. It's a real privilege to be here and strengthen the reciprocal relationship between our two kingdoms, especially on that really important topic of education and skills. I'm delighted that we have such a large delegation from the UK. We promised to deliver on that, and we have done, and I'm really pleased that we have had the opportunity to share learning and also develop partnerships and work at pace to deliver the actions that we've agreed as a result of this summit. It's the UK's mission, government's mission, to break down the barriers to opportunity so that every young person can succeed, whatever their background and wherever they're from. And that's absolutely vital that young people get good jobs in the future economy. But to build the skills capacity later in life, children must have the opportunity to thrive and develop during their early years. And that means we must open up opportunities to good early education to give all children the best start in life. The evidence shows us that early years are pivotal to children's futures, their health, their development, their educational attainment, and how well they do in adulthood all depends on that first start, that early start in life. And investing in this sector is crucial if we want to build a talent-ready workforce for the future. That's why by 2028, we want a record proportion of children to be ready to learn when they start school age 5. And this will be demonstrated by a 75% commitment to achieve a good level of development by the end of their first year at school. Now, as a government, we have a range of policies to help us achieve this milestone. This includes offering parents more hours of government-funded childcare support, and we're also building an early years provision to meet demand, and we have a national recruitment campaign to grow the workforce. We're also recruiting and expanding nurseries where they are needed most, using spare capacity in primary school. Evidence shows us that investing in early years workforce training drives up the quality of early education. That's why in England we're working in partnership with the early years sector to reform workforce training, and this will help staff to support young children to build core skills such as curiosity and resilience. These are essential to adapting to formal education and hold benefits right the way through their learning journey. And I know that early education is also important to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. For example, the Ministry of Education has set out plans to make early years education equitable and inclusive for all children, broadening access to lifelong benefits of foundation years learning. And for example, by sharing knowledge and best practice through policy workshops, we want to build on that approach, working collaboratively, and that means improving the quality of teaching and how to attract and retain early years staff. In England, we are developing programs to make better use of the skills of early education practitioners, and we want early years staff to feel valued and respected, to provide a rewarding career path through the sector. And we'd like to start by sharing that work with the Kingdom and in turn learn from the Ministry of Education's initiatives to upskill and retain early years staff. We could also share our experiences of introducing new modern teaching methods, and these include educational technology that tailors learning to individual children and produces data-led results to measure impact. It's through the sharing of our practice and resources and knowledge that early education can become a key building block in our partnership on skills training for older students. And I have absolutely no doubt that the UK-Saudi Skills Education Partnership will be a success. And we've already had notable achievements in our work together on education, such as increasing the number of UK independent schools in the Kingdom, and we're working really hard to deliver more important higher education partnerships for the future. So we already are, I believe, in a good position between the kingdoms, and we acknowledge the need to fund and resource early education. We agree that when children have access to good quality provision, they build the core skills needed to thrive later in life. So I'll just end by saying I know that the Ministry of Education shares my passion for early education and the benefits that it brings. And I really look forward to working with the Kingdom to establish an early years system that's a real crucial building block for the future skills initiatives that you're planning to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister. Professor Field. As Saudi Arabia ramps up efforts to build a future-ready healthcare workforce, how is the UK-Saudi collaboration, especially under this skills initiative, helping shape new models for education and training? And with promising initiatives like UK-affiliated nursing schools on the horizon, what impact do you see on the professionalisation of healthcare talent in the Kingdom?
Thank you, Sasi. The first thing, I'm so proud to be here as part of the UK delegation. We brought a number of Russell Group universities, and some of our leading nursing schools have been here a number of times now. We believe that your 2030 vision for healthcare is the biggest mobilization and transformation of healthcare in the world. We own the objectives you've got and really want to continue to be part of the work with you to develop in very close partnership, partly because we can also learn from how you're transforming your healthcare into how we take our NHS forward, which has been running successfully since 1948, but is constantly evolving and is under the same pressures that you are on the demand and the aging population. If you can transform your care along the lines of 2030, skills development is going to be absolutely crucial. And for me, nursing is at the center of all of that. You have a large number of nurses, majority of which are currently working very effectively in the hospital setup. You've got some brilliant hospitals, but to deliver the vision, you will need to focus on prevention, on primary care, and on mental health, in addition to your hospital world. And of course, if you can do that, you can move care out of hospitals, reduce the cost of healthcare, and also prevent illnesses before you have to treat them. And just going back to the early years education, because this is an education conference, I'm absolutely committed to this 0 to 5 period, because if you can put a lot of effort into health prevention, education, we know through Michael Marmot's work at UCL that that will give you longer, healthier lives than just spending your money on training doctors and nurses who have to pick up the pieces later. It means reducing the impact of diabetes by preventing diabetes in the first place. And so we're here to help you. Our universities are really keen to partner with you to develop more nursing schools, to support you in your faculty development, in your leadership. And we want to be on this journey with you. And finally, just to reassure and assure you that the UK government are right behind this and are with you right till the end and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Steve. Dr. Farker, as Saudi Arabia advances its healthcare transformation, how is the Farker Care Group leveraging strategic partnerships with UK institutions to strengthen the Kingdom's talent pipeline? In particular, could you elaborate on the new collaboration with a UK university to establish a nursing school and its significance within the broader national skills development agenda?
Sure. If you'll allow me, I'll just begin by a short description of our ecosystem. We're an integrated healthcare platform that has 3 pillars. Healthcare provision, and this is done through 4 hospitals in 4 different cities, and 5 mega ambulatory care centers focusing on primary care delivery. So most of the care is being delivered outside hospitals. And we're adopting an academic care delivery model. So we have more than 30 residency and fellowship programs. So postgraduate training and human capital development in healthcare is key in our operations. The second pillar is education. We've established the Faqih College for Medical Sciences in 2003, beginning with nursing, bachelors of nursing. That grew to 14 programs today, including bachelor's and master's and PhDs in nursing, MBBS, medical laboratory sciences, and PharmD. The college has very strong collaboration with UK universities. The name of Dundee University is on the building. Actually, it's supporting the medicine program, medicine and surgery program, providing the quality assurance, the external examiner, faculty development, research initiatives, and collaborative research programs with Dundee University. That's the second pillar, which is the education. And the third pillar is research. And this is something we have committed to support and develop very aggressively. And of late, we have signed agreements with RIDIA and NIH. And we have secured funding for several research programs as one of the first private institutions to work with the government on that. And without the government support, this could not have been achieved. Nursing nursing shortage is a global issue, actually. It's not just specific to Saudi Arabia. Nurses constitute 40% of the workforce required to provide care across the globe. In Saudi Arabia, we have about 6.2 nurses per 1,000 population. In the OECD, it's about 9.3. So there is a big gap in the number of nurses, let alone Saudi nurses, which they do not exceed 23% of the total nurses workforce in Saudi Arabia. The current intake in nursing school is about 5,000 a year. For us to meet the gap, the existing gap and the future gap between 2030 to 2040, we need to increase that intake from the current 5,000 by 150% every single intake. So there is a huge demand on nursing and nursing training and education. For that, the government had the initiative to reduce the number of years without compromising the quality of training. From the current 4 years plus 1 year of internship to 3 years, which is the expedited nursing curriculum in the UK. And that's why our college has actually established, forged newly new engagements with both Coventry and Queen's University to work on delivering those expedited programs. And actually, we've made a lot of headway. Now we have developed collaboratively the program. The British institutions helped us with the quality side of the program, and the arrangement would allow training, further training and support. In addition to research, we're also focusing on certain areas like mental health and pediatric and palliative care, as well as specific training programs. So we're very proud of this collaboration, and to build on a long history of collaboration with UK institutions. Mind you, our college is one of the first, maybe the first in Saudi Arabia, to have the recognition of the GMC, the General Medical Council, for its quality.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wonder actually if I could just, before I turn to Dr. Majid to sum up, I wonder if I could turn back to Steve Field. I mean, Steve, that picture that's painted of the pressure in nursing is really interesting. And I think we may have some similar pressures back in the UK. Could you just say a little bit about the picture for those kind of nursing skills in the UK and what the UK generally is doing to deal with that gap?
Well, thank you. I mean, it's a very, very good question. We import a large number of nurses as well, as do Saudi Arabia. So when we're talking about training, we need to, and we are, increasing the number of students going through our programs. I think this is about professionalism of the nursing career as well. So in Saudi Arabia, what you want are lots of young girls and boys applying to be nurses. And you don't have that at the moment. And so the work you're doing is exemplary. But the whole of the kingdom really needs to look at what we have successfully done with what we call Agenda for Change, which is a series of capabilities and skills highlighted in a ladder or escalator, where, for example, at grade 8, you have to have a master's degree for nursing to proceed into management or into research or into education. And each band has a pay scale. So that means you can progress, and it's a career of choice for many people now. And many of our leaders running our hospitals as chief execs have come through that nursing ladder. In some respects, they make better managers than doctors do. Being a doctor, I can say that. But it also means that you want Saudi girls and boys to go into nursing, but many will want to have families and need to be able to come on and off the ladder at particular points. So it's the aspiration of nursing as a fantastic career. It's about career progression and appropriate pay. And we'd also like to see some Saudi nurses and UK nurses working across both countries as joint programs so that we can develop the faculty to train those nurses and to develop the leaders of the future. I've benefited very much from opportunities of working in Boston the last 5 or 6 years here. You can see the world is different, and I've picked up and stolen so many ideas that you've got to take back to the UK. I'd like to see more of our nurse leaders doing that as well, and vice versa. And I think that would also help going forward with a better understanding of each country and how we influence the future globally. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of this. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, our time's nearly running out. We've got 5 or 6 minutes. Dr. Majid, could I turn to you, Your Excellency? As we look ahead, what bold and emerging areas of collaboration do you envisage under the Saudi-British Strategic Partnership Council, particularly in advancing education, training, and human capital across priority sectors? And finally, how can both kingdoms transform today's momentum into a lasting legacy of innovation, opportunity, and global leadership in skills development?
First of all, for you who doesn't know that there is a strategic council between Saudi Arabia and the United Kingdom. It's co-chaired by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed and the Prime Minister of the UK. This was established officially 2022, and since inception, we had 80 initiatives, including this skill initiative, which is, I think, is best as last, as they say. And the council has been very effective, and it's been impacted on even our bilateral trade that have reached in the last 4 years almost to 270 million Saudi riyals. But if I may suggest that we need to collaborate and cooperate and coordinate and all the C's in the world, communicate and in 3 areas. I think for the United Kingdom being the center of excellence in education, hosting the best universities and best research, best vocational school. Track A, we create a Saudi-UK Center of Excellence for future skills, where we can bring bureaucrats like me, policymakers, private sectors, opinion leaders, educators, all the stakeholders to co-design future skills. That's track A. Track B, we know that the United Kingdom have they're the center of excellence for vocational training. And we desperately need vocational training in Saudi Arabia. We just heard from Dr. Mazen that nursing, we're in need of technicians, electricians, carpenters, plumbing, and the list goes on. So second track, we create a center of excellence or academies, vocational academies jointly, UK, Saudi Vocational Academy, where your software, your brain power, your experience can be added to our, can be transferred to our boys and girls, because this will also used in the health sector and the newly developed sector, the sport sector. We have the Expo 2030 around the corner, the World Cup 2034, logistics, the list goes on. Tourism, culture, the list goes on. So, and last, how can we leverage digital platforms to accelerate learning and life learning and continuous life learning, because things are going too fast. So we create maybe joint platforms for have continuous education, for even in service sector. You know, the United Kingdom is the second largest exporter of services globally. How can we learn through your experience? So the list goes on. So this is how I see it. And I also would like to thank Minister of Education, Dr. Yusuf al-Bnayan, and thank you, Stephen, and thank everybody, and Dr. Iman al-Mutairi, and all the team that have brought this together. But the hope is bigger, and we look forward to really go from negotiation to implementation. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Majid. I mean, I have to say in conclusion, I've been working here for a number of years, and the vision's always been there, and the commitment from both sides has always been there. But we're now into that very crucial phase of actually delivering on what we've jointly agreed to do. I think the potential collaboration is just enormous between our two countries, and crucially, Your Excellency, the trust that you and your colleagues have built with us, and I hope vice versa, means that when there are inevitable bumps in the road, we can work together to overcome them. So I'd just like to ask the colleagues in the audience to join me in thanking our excellent presenters today. Thank you.